So, Thommo, does it get easier or harder as you get older, these pre-seasons?
I'd love to say easier, but it definitely doesn't. That's never the case. I guess throughout the years, each pre-season does step up a level, and then obviously each year you get a year older, so it takes its toll on the body over a number of years. But in saying that, the body still feels good, and I'm enjoying it at the moment.
Are you doing everything?
Not at this point in time, no. I had some minor clean-up surgery on the knee throughout the off-season, so slowly building back into it now, and probably a couple of weeks off full training.
With a veteran like yourself, I mean, from what I understand, you don't do a hell of a lot during the year.
I don't know who's been telling you that.
Do you see this as the time to really get the base down so that you can have those light weeks during the year?
Oh, absolutely. Like, the pre-season's a very important stage for setting that foundation for the year ahead. I'm probably lucky to a certain extent where I've got a number of years behind me where I've got that fitness base, so I can probably pick it up a bit quicker than other guys. It's definitely important for younger guys to come in and set a foundation straight away to hold them in good stead for the year ahead.
With the younger guys, or if you can remember back to your early days, are they in danger of doing too much sometimes?
Oh, it's a fine line. I think you need to challenge blokes when they first come to the club, set a foundation, find out what they can do, take blokes out of their comfort zone and test them mentally. I think that's important as well, but it is a fine line between breaking someone down and having them ready to fire come the start of the season.
They get to a stage where the pre-season drags on a bit tired, a bit too much?
Well, some would say yes, some would say no. Yeah.
Has it got to that stage yet?
No, not yet. Still enjoying it, and if I wasn't enjoying it, I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
And your impressions of Walsh?
Really like him. Yeah, he's fit in really nicely with the group. The boys really like the type of personality that he is, and he's only been here a couple of months so far, but first impression's really good.
And obviously the loaded question that you asked me to ask. Danger and Rory's contract gets discussed all the time.
Yeah.
What about you, mate? How are you tracking with that?
Well, just touching on Rory and Danger, they've both just signed a form of contract that'll hopefully last them a lifetime in getting engaged over the Christmas period. But in saying that, they'll probably both need a new footy contract now after probably the rocks they've put on their girls' fingers. But myself, I'm out of contract at the end of this season, so definitely still see some footy left in me. So hopefully I can start the season well and we'll go from there.
How do you see that process playing out with the club, do you think?
Positively, I hope. Yeah, I guess it's up to me and how I perform, but in saying that, it's not about me really. As long as we're performing as a side and I'm playing my role, the club will obviously, or hopefully, see a role for me going forward.
So they'll go to you, or will you go them?
No, we'll play it by ear.
So there's no, I mean, I personally think you've probably got 15 years left in you. There's no sense of treating it as a year like your last at this stage?
No, not at the moment.
What are the key differences, Scotty? You mentioned, you've enjoyed having Walshy here and that sort of thing, but I think the poor blokes were sort of saying, the Crows boys aren't going to have too much fun over pre-season. Any key differences that he's brought to the group? Oh,
it's hard to compare, to be honest. There's been a lot of change here over the off-season, but it is really hard to compare where we were last year to what we've done so far this season, this pre-season, sorry. As I said, he's a really likeable sort of guy. He's a funny character, but he's intense with our training, and we expect high standards, elite standards, and we're still ramping up that competitiveness within the group. So that's one thing we've got a high focus on at this point in time.
Has there been a change in, focusing on more hard running or balls coming out?
You're always focusing on that sort of stuff, and with a new coach comes a slightly different game plan, different terminology with the way we speak and want to do things. So that's still a learning progress for the boys at this point in time, but yeah, high intensity, and that never changes. That's always the case.
You've been under a few coaches. With pre-seasons, are they generally pretty similar with a few tweaking at the edges, or does a different coach can have a completely different pre-season?
They're reasonably similar. They're always hard, put it that way. There's never an easy pre-season. Running can change from year to year depending on where fitness staff and coaches see the game going, but it is reasonably similar most years.
Game plan change? Has there been an emphasis on speed, or I know a few years ago it was size and strength? Walshy come in and change that game plan?
Not really, no. There's always a focus on speed. You look at the build of a lot of guys nowadays, they're quick, light, lean blokes, and you still need to have that strength, but you don't want to be carrying excess weight. So that's always a focus and a balance between having that strength and being able to run games out.
You mentioned the base fitness-wise is laid now. Is that the same sort of with the mental stuff, the technical game plan, that sort of thing? You do all the learning now, so you can just sort of top it up during the year?
Well, that's right. Well, it's really important to set a foundation and understand the game plan that the new coach wants. It does take time because, as I've touched on already, there are different terminologies with the way they use certain words and the way we want to move the ball and all that. And you guys will figure that out soon enough once the games start. But it does take a bit of time, and it's we'll go through walkthroughs and all the rest of it to hopefully have it down pat by the start of the season.
What's his favourite word?
His favourite word?
Four-letter word.
Terrific. Terrific is his favourite word at the moment. Yeah, he says that. He likes elite, but if you hear, he says it with a nice deep voice too. When he says terrific, it's he really drags it out. It's good. Yeah.
Too much chatter amongst the boys about the captaincy?
Oh no! At this point in time, Nathan Van Berlo is the captain of the club, and until I hear any different or know any different, that's how things remain.